I gotta tell you, I was a big fan of Jimmy Carter's. So when they called me from downstairs in the television part of the station where I worked and said, Jimmy Carter is in the building, would you like to speak to him?
People staring, people will, we don't care.
Oh, yes! So when I was on the radio, one morning, we happened to get a hold of a Guinness Book of World Records. You ever seen these things? Send them up! Please, send everybody up. I'd like to see anyone that came with them. So we started looking through different statistics of things that people have done. And, you know, Guinness proves that they do it. Years ago, before expressways, before cars had engines, it was exactly like the Flintstones. We'd all get in the car and we start moving our feet, going up the expressway. So we started looking around at different records, and we got to one in particular, which was who had done the most push-ups and sit-ups of anybody in the world. And they were owned by two brothers. By the way, there were no expressways either. They had never been built, so it was back roads all the way up to Atlanta. And frankly, there weren't that many cars. It was kind of a pleasant trip. I was so excited. Jimmy Carter, President of the United States, and I voted for him. I was a big fan. I voted for every office, for governor, for president, and here he was in the building. The idea of how many push-ups or sit-ups that I could do really never entered my mind. So the fact that there was actually somebody in the Guinness Book of World Records that wasn't 40 years old was kind of shocking to me. And then they called back and they said, no. He said he's not going to come up there to be on the air with you. Back then, they weren't called back roads. Those were the roads. So we're taking our time up there. And so we finally get to the concourse where my sister will be disembarking. Is that the right time? Basically, this isn't an exact quote, but this is kind of what Carter said. Oh, no, I will not go upstairs to be on the air with that man. So I got people working on this. Let's find these people. Who are these people? What do they do? How did they get this? What happened? And we did. Sad what happened, Bob. She was doing fine until she disembarked. Uh-oh. I don't have that ability to notice people and to say, oh, that's a famous person. Or, oh, look, who's that? I can't do it. I'm going through my mind going, what of the thousands of jokes that we've said about him is one that was the deal cutter? You know, like, oh, no, that's it. I went to the Capricorn Summer Games, and I had my little plate in my hand. I had my little plate. I sound so southern. Yeah, bless your heart, you got your little plate. It's just a milker, you can pick it up. And we found these people. Have you ever heard of Richard and Robert Knect? Those are their names. So I had my plate, and I had my drink, and I was walking around, and I said, well, there's two people over there. I'll go sit with them. And it wasn't until I looked up that across from me was Cher and Martin Mull. So somebody finally asked him, and they called me back, and they said, you said he had a beer in a boat. Ooh. I interviewed both Richard and Robert Knect, and they were lovely people. I mean, it was amazing. It was a great interview. We were laughing. They were joking. They had a wonderful sense of humor, which is really what we were looking for. So my message to Jimmy Carter is Godspeed and get well. So it's me and my mom and dad. We're sitting there, and there's this gentleman sitting next to me, and some other people next to them, and I really didn't notice anything. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and just. And so they tell us that they're getting ready to come through Georgia because they're moving to Florida. Would it be fine for them to drop by and say hello? Well, of course it would be. So as I'm sitting there, I noticed people start walking up to him, and he would sign his name to a piece of paper. I pray every night that Jimmy Carter has continued great health and success in whatever he decides to do. He truly not only is an inspiration, but a great man. So I'm sorry that he didn't come up to be on the radio show, but finally I couldn't stand it anymore, and so in my precocious 10-year-old, who are you? And he turns to me and says, I'm Batman, citizen. Really, honestly, I'm not surprised. Nobody in their good sense would come up there and be on that radio show. I'm sitting next to Adam West. Adam freaking West. I thought it was kind of funny, but you know, sometimes when I think it's funny, other people kind of go,